Good afternoon, everyone. I am Buife Nomeh, and thank you for coming to my masterclass. I'm excited and cannot wait to share with you what I have for you today. I'm sure you have been learning a lot from the previous sessions that you have had today, and I couldn't be more proud of you. One thing that I've come to learn in my own life is that leadership never goes out of style. So as long as you are alive, as long as you get to deal with people, you get to work on projects and processes, and you want to stand out wherever you find yourself, leadership skills are never out of style. So it's good that you're learning today, and I'm so excited that you have come to my masterclass, because here we're going to be learning one of the most important skills you need to lead and influence people. Okay, I'm excited, and let's just get into it. Okay, let's just get into it. Before we get into it, I want to apologize for not being there live with you. You know, I always like to be there. I always like to be there. This is the first time I'm speaking at the Leadership Rebirth Conference, and it's always a blast. So I'm sorry I couldn't be there live, but thank God for technology. So let's get into it. If you follow me online, or if you have attended any of the sessions that I've held in the past, or seen or heard me speak anywhere, you may have likely heard from me that I am an introvert. And I like to share that with people because before I got into the career path that I am currently in, if someone had told me that this is what I will be doing, I'll be like, are you sure? Are you sure you think I'm somebody else? But this is me. I am doing this now. And the reason that I would doubt that is because of my personality. I am an introvert, so connecting with people can be hard for me. Expressing myself can be hard for me. And yes, I know you've been thinking, for where? Like, you don't even look like it. But when you get to study me and you're like away from where I'm speaking, you will know that that's true, Shao. Okay, so I am an introvert, and I used to be really shy. But God helped me to see that if you want to move ahead in life, and in fact, if you want to do anything meaningful, you have to work with people. As a business owner, you have to sell to people, you have to hire people, you have to market your business, you have to talk to stakeholders. There's a lot of things you have to do to make your business grow. As a career person, you have to talk to people, you have to go for interviews, you have to work with your team, share your ideas within your team. So if you cannot express yourself, that is difficult. So God helped me see that, and He started teaching me how to be confident and communicate my ideas without fear and still do it well. So over the years, I've been learning, and thankfully today I can do this thing. Not just that, not just being able to speak, but also being able to help other people like yourselves know how to communicate and present your ideas. So why did I share this story? I shared it to let you know that no matter where you are in your journey of speaking in public, I want you to know that you can learn to speak well in public. You can learn to share your ideas effectively in public. You can learn to engage the audience. You can learn all these things. Why? Because they are skills. They are skills. Just like you learned how to write ABCD, just like you learned how to write composition about yourself, just like you learned how to spell your name. I mean, remember, there was a time you couldn't spell your name. So just like you learned how to do all those basic things that now seem so simple and so easy that you're like, oh, well, it's so easy. You don't even think twice before doing it. The same way you can learn presentation skills. So if I could do it, you can do it too. So that's just my main message here. And in this masterclass, I wanted to create something for you, but I thought, why do that? Let me just give them the basic things that they need to know when it comes to giving a presentation. And I'm actually taking you into my signature course, the Average to Star Presenter course. to share one lesson from that course with you. Okay, so if you didn't understand what I just said, that course is paid for and people pay 30K and upwards to take that course. But I'm going to be taking one lesson out of it to share with you. And this is the most foundational thing about presentation skills. Like I told you, I had to learn the skills. And when it comes to speaking, that's what you need. You need to know what are the things I have to know. Like when we teach children how to write A, for instance, we tell them to write a slanted one, another slanted one, and then they put a dash in between. They connect those two slants with a dash, and that is letter A. And if you want to teach them how to write small letter A, we tell them to write small curve 1. And they write it, and that is small letter A. So before we get into teaching them how to write ABCD, we have to teach them how to write the slants, how to make those shapes, how to draw the dash, how to draw a curve, a big one and a small one, how to write one little one like that, like an I, you know. So we have to teach them those foundational parts that when we now start teaching them how to write the complicated A for them at that age, it becomes easy for them to even know what to do because you have already mastered slants and dash, one and curves. And that is what I want to teach you here today. I want to teach you the basic things that if you know it, you can get into any presentation. You know what to work on. You know what to put in place to excel in your presentation. So to do this, I'm going to be sharing my slide with you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And yep. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my screen right now. Alrighty. So like I told you, I will be teaching you from one of my courses, Average to Star Presenter course. So there you go. Average to Star Presenter course is an online course. So just in case you want to see what it's all about, you can go to my website, buifenomeh.com/star-presenter. All right. So the first thing I always tell my students is to stop saying no to opportunities to speak in public. If you want to master speaking, stop hiding from it, stop running away from it. There's no other way to say it. So anytime someone tells, maybe in church, your pastor tells you, we want you to share a word or we want you to handle this, don't say no. Say yes, then go and work on how you're going to do that and do it effectively. That's the first thing I want to share with you. So before we get into the cocoa of today. All right, so please, if you're not writing, pick out your notes. So this is what I'm going to be teaching you, presentation process, the factors that affect the success of your presentation. These are the key things you have to keep in mind as you plan, develop, and deliver your presentation. The first part of it is, okay, so you all know what a presentation is. It's a talk that you give to one or more people where you present an idea or information in a clear, structured way. So I always like to share the different places you can give a presentation. It can be on stage, like you have heard speakers like Barrister Nena Nozie, she's going to be on stage speaking to you. Solomon is going to be on stage speaking to you. So that's a kind of presentation. They're sharing ideas, they're sharing information to a group of people, which is you, the audience. You can also speak on Zoom. That is a part of presentation. You can be called as a business owner or as a leader to come share your ideas on a radio show. That is a form of presentation. So when I talk about presentation, it doesn't have to be when you are on the podium. You can give a presentation from different platforms like TV stations too. You can go on a TV show. That is a form of presentation. So whenever you're going to give any of these types of presentation, I want you to keep in mind these factors that I'm going to share with you, because if you keep them in mind and if you apply them correctly, you will develop and deliver an effective presentation. So the first thing that you have to think about is your goal. What do you want to achieve with that presentation? There are different kinds of goals that you can have. You can want to inspire your audience, you can want to motivate them, you can want to educate them, and you can want to persuade them. And I just found a way to explain these things. You may have heard these things, but I found a way to explain them so that you can know what you really want to do. If you want to inspire your audience, what you're doing is that you're building a desire in them. So before they came to listen to you, they didn't have that desire. Maybe you're speaking to young people and some of them didn't even have the desire to work legally and morally for money. They just believe that it has to be, you have to go into Yahoo or you have to do Naira bet to get money or any of those things. But you want to create a desire in them to like get them out of that place, get them out of that pattern of thinking. Your presentation or speech is an inspirational speech, okay? So you have to know what your goal is. If you're motivating people, maybe these people already have the desire. They already want this, but they want to someone wants to write a book, but then when he or she goes home after work, like the person is like, oh, I'm tired, I cannot work and all that. And then they go to sleep. So month after month, day after day, they'll be like, oh, I'll write it tomorrow. Oh, I'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, they say they are tired, or they watch a movie, or they go watch football. And your presentation, you want to motivate them. You're giving them a reason to start taking action towards that thing they want to accomplish. I remember in 2015, 2016, I was working somewhere and I always wanted to start my business. So I was like, what can I be doing to supplement my income that time? I was being paid 20K. So I was like, what can I do to supplement my income? So the idea that just kept on coming to me was to start making more and more. It was just the idea that kept on coming to me. So, but I would go to work really early, be there 7:30-ish, and then I'd also close very late. So sometimes I close around 6, sometimes 7, and then by the time I go home, because of traffic, I could spend an hour on the road, so I could be getting home by 7, 8. And each time I'll go home, I'm like, I'm tired, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. But guess what? One day I was going through the internet and I saw a quote on the internet. And that quote simply said, if you go to work from 9 to 5 and you come back and don't do your own thing, you're not tired, you're lazy. Hey! I was like, what? What? I don't like that. I don't like to be associated with laziness in any way. That's just me. So when I heard that, immediately I got home that evening, I went and bought everything I needed to make more and more the following morning. I think I read that on a Saturday because we used to work on Saturdays. So when I went home, I bought those things. By Monday morning, I made my moi. So all those my excuses flew away because I was motivated. Somebody gave me a reason to push for what I wanted. So another goal you can set for your presentation is to educate, to teach people how to do something or how to become someone. For instance, if someone wants to teach you how to write a book, or they can take you through step by step, you have to get your content, decide what you want to write on, and then you can write 500 words a day so that 500 words is easy to write, but then when you start writing 500 a day, by 10 days, you would have written 5,000 words. And then they now start teaching you how to structure your sentences, how to tell stories with your speech. That's a kind of educative presentation or speech. Another example is what I'm doing now. I'm teaching you how to give effective presentation. So that's educative. The final one is persuasion. Persuasion is someone already has a strong desire. They know they have reasons. I have to pay my bills, so I have to look for how to make extra income. They have reasons. So they already have some form of motivation. Then they know how to do it, or like they know how to do it. But the problem sometimes can now be actually going out to do it, or that final push that they need. So that's persuasion. You're getting them to actually go further to do that thing. Now, if you look at all these goals, your speech can actually cut across. For instance, in this presentation, I'm going to be inspiring you, I'm going to be educating you, and I'm also going to be persuading you in one way or the other, and hopefully motivating you. I just want you to leave this, at the end of this speech, feeling empowered and able to give effective presentations. So before you set into giving your own talk, first of all, ask yourself, what do I want my speech or presentation to accomplish at the end? What do I want my audience to do? Those are some of the ways you can set your goals. Usually, your presentation takes your audience from one point to the other with using some ideas that we like to call main points, okay? So your goal is to get them to understand. I always share this. You want to make them, when they understand, then they can make a favorable decision. The favorable decision is, if you wanted them to start a business, at the end of your presentation, when they go home, they will start making a draft of a plan of how to start their business. And then 2 weeks after, they're actually starting a business. That's making a favorable decision. And then applying your information is now when they start that business, they start using the things you taught them on how to start and run a profitable business. They start applying it in their own business. So that is the whole thing. If your presentation is effective, your audience should be able to do all of these things. They understand, they make a favorable decision, and they apply your information to create the results they want in their lives. Now, for the factors, the first factor that I want to talk about after you have defined your goal, the first factor is you. You can affect the success or otherwise of your presentation. And I will share with you some things that can aid or detract from your presentation as a result of your own qualities. So the first thing is your credibility. Credibility is what right do you have to speak on that particular topic? How did you earn the right? For instance, I just told you a brief story. I am an introvert and I used to be shy, and then God helped me to figure out that you need people, and then started teaching me how to build my communication and presentation skills. Part of that, I also had to take courses and read books, right? So all of these things have earned me the right to teach on this. But not just that, I can give you scores and scores and scores of people that I have worked with one-on-one and that I have trained in our public speaking course that have gone ahead to start giving public speeches effectively. That is my right to speak on this topic. So whenever you're thinking of giving a speech, you have to think of, how did I gain the right to speak on this topic? Because sometimes you will need to tell your audience how you got to know what you want to share with them, to get them to not only pay attention, but to take you seriously. For instance, if you walk into a hall and you talk, I want to teach you how to do an operation, on how to do a cesarean operation to help a pregnant woman deliver her baby. And then we ask you, Guy, where did you get what medical school did you go to? I said, well, I've never really attended any medical school. I mean, I studied economics in the university, but this is really something that I am passionate about. I like pregnant women giving birth to healthy babies without going through the stress of push. I mean, I saw my wife do that, and I just decided, no, I cannot imagine another woman going through that. I mean, everybody, you're all going to walk out of that hall whenever he's done teaching himself how to operate on the woman without a medical license. He can then go home and have some food. But I see your credibility is one factor. The other thing is your knowledge of the subject. How well do you know what you're talking on? Some people tell me that I have fear, or I have fear. One of the reasons why you may have fear of public speaking is that you don't know enough of what you want to talk about. If you know enough of what you want to talk about, once you open your mouth and the words start flowing out, you forget your fear. except you have some deep-seated fears. But if it is just the peripheral ones that come from lack of knowledge or lack of adequate knowledge, forget it, you're going to be afraid. So if you want to excel as a speaker, you have to know the topic of the subject of your presentation and know it well. So if you're going to give a 30-minute talk, make sure you have enough knowledge that if you are to go for 3 hours, you will still have things to say without repeating yourself. That is knowledge, okay? So anytime you are asked to give a speech, if you have the liberty of choosing a topic, go and choose a topic that you know well about or that you have interest to learn, okay? But if you are given a topic and you know, I don't really know much about this usually happens when in the office, when you work in a company, you could be asked to give a presentation on a project that you did not work in every area of that project. You only served in one department, but the report has to cover, excuse me guys. So the report has to cover other areas, and that is it. You have to go get that knowledge. So the other thing about you as a speaker is that you have to be, okay, you have to prepare, okay? You really have to prepare for your presentation. Then your manner of delivery. Your manner of delivery. Are you the type that when you want to give a speech, you open up your notes and you start reading from your notes? Presentation skills is the art of presenting ideas. You're reading your notes, you're not looking at your audience, you're not maintaining eye contact with them, you're not engaging them in any way. That is going to ruin your presentation. So make sure that you are effectively delivering that presentation. Your body language, the way you connect with the audience, the way you use your words, all of those things. Then be sensitive to the audience. Their time, you have to be sensitive to that. You have to be sensitive to the occasion. Your topic, the topic you want to speak on, is it ideal to the occasion of where you're speaking? Okay, that's really important. Then finally, your level of excitement, your level of enthusiasm. We see it, we feel it when you care about what you're talking about. So make sure you bring that enthusiasm, that excitement to the stage. If you're excited about what you're talking about, then your audience will be excited to listen to you. Let's quickly move on to the next very important, because of time, I'm going to be sharing just 4 of these factors with you. So the second factor is the message, your message, the content of your presentation. And the first thing you have to think about that is, have you done your research? Have you done your research? Do you know well enough about that thing you want to talk about? Do you have the industry statistics? Do you have the interviews? Have you interviewed people who have gone through that? Do you have expert interviews that you can use to buffer your presentation? That is very key. The second thing is structure. Does your presentation have a clear, logical structure? Is there an ease of flow? Can your audience easily understand based on how you have structured your presentation? Very, very key. Never go into a presentation and just toss around anything you get on Google. No. When you have done your research, pick out the most important points that will help you accomplish your goal and include just those ones in your speech. The third thing is your choice of words. What words are you using? How punchy are your words? How relevant are they to your topic, and how do those words connect with your audience? If you watch politicians during their campaigns, hey, you want to learn how to give persuasive speeches, listen to politicians when they campaign. Those people can get you to sell your souls. Why do you think somebody will go and carry ballot box for less than 100K and risk being killed or jailed? is persuasion. So your choice of words matter. They know that people want good roles, so they now use good roles. If you elect us, we'll build roles for you, we'll give you 24-hour power supply, go and learn from those people. So when you are using your words, I'm not saying you should lie, don't lie, but make sure you're using the right words that your audience, that can resonate with your audience, okay? Then the fourth thing is your tone of voice. By tone of voice, I refer to the rate at which you speak, the pitch, whether your pitch goes high or low, whether you speak really loud or you slow down a bit and go quietly, okay? So those are the things you have to consider that make your speech interesting. Just remember, try to think of your presentation as a song. How would you make it rhythmic so that your audience can enjoy listening to you? The fifth thing you have to consider about the message is your body language. Yes, I talked about body language under speaker, and I'm talking about it under message too, because your body also communicates. Your body also communicates. So you don't just communicate with the words that come out of your mouth. You communicate that message with your body too. And your body language can actually add to your presentation, to the message you're talking about. Imagine if I tell you, wow, my sister got hit by a car yesterday and she's lying in the hospital. I cannot believe it. I mean, what sort of news is that? How can I be sharing such a sad news and be smiling and happy about it? Those two do not make sense. So you have to make sure that your body language agrees with the words that are coming out of your mouth. Then finally, on the message is your appearance, how you look. Guys, I'm recording this on a Sunday and I went to church without makeup. Really, I did, because I didn't feel like. When I wanted to come on and record this video, I had to go get some things, just get my face a little bit of touch up so that I can look good on camera, right? So you have to do that when you're presenting, because once people look at you, once people sight you, oh, that's the person that they put the face on the flyer. Once they see you, they look at what you're wearing, and they immediately have a perception of you that will affect how serious they will take you when you get on stage. You don't always have to wear suits, but whatever you wear, make sure it is smart and make sure that it sells you as an authority to speak on the topic that you're going to be speaking on. The third factor that I'll share with you here is the channel of presentation. What channel are you going to be talking to your audience on? Is it physical or virtual? And there are some things you want to consider. If it's physical, it means like the speakers you've had before now, before these breakout sessions, they spoke to you physically. So you could see them, they could see you. You could ask them questions, they could high five you. I cannot high five, okay, let's just do some high five. But you know, there could be that touch, it could be that. But if you are online, for instance, maybe you're doing a Facebook Live, you cannot see your audience, but they can see you. You can't hear them, but they can hear you. So whatever they have to say, they have to type. So how do you get them to type? Because some people may have questions, but they won't just want to type. I'm not asking you to do any of those things because I know that you are just watching this on a screen. You don't have access to a keypad that you can type something and I'll receive it. But I'm going to be coming on live later on to answer your questions. Yeah. So make sure that you consider these things and know how you can tweak your delivery so that you can properly engage your audience. Now, if you're thinking of how can I engage my audience, I have a video on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Buife Nomeh Live. So go to my YouTube channel and search for audience participation. How to get your audience to participate when you present or speak. Watch that video to learn how to engage your audience when you give a presentation physically. So the fourth one that I want to share with you, hi, maybe you just came in here. All right, so the fourth and final one I want to share with you is the listeners. If you have listened to me or heard me or read my book or read any of my content online, you know that I always say that your presentation is about your audience. I mean, I had to think of what to share with you, what would really help you before I chose this particular lesson in my course. I wanted to talk to you about some of the things. I was like, what do they really need? Give them the foundation so that they can build on it, right? I remember the last year I shared something very fun. I just like giving you those foundational ones. So if you have listened to me, you know that I talk about audience members, that they are the key thing in your presentation. You have to think about them and develop your presentation from their point of view. Don't put down something you want to talk about. Put down something your audience would want to hear about. Don't say, I know this thing so much. Let me put myths, causes, disadvantages, advantages. That's not what your audience wants to hear. You don't want to hear about me. They want to hear, what can I do? So that when you're teaching adult learners, they want knowledge and information that is relevant, something they can use immediately and apply to their lives. Listen, this is a breakout session. So you could have gone to other master classes, but you chose to come to this one. Why? Because you want to learn information that will help you build your presentation skills. This is relevant for you. That's why you're sitting here. So when you are delivering presentation, think about your audience. What are their goals? What do they want to do with their lives? Where are they going? What do they want to achieve? And what part of your knowledge can you share with them to help them accomplish those goals? That is what you want to do. The second thing is, what knowledge do they have knowledge about what you're talking about? What level of knowledge do they have? Are they educated in that? Are they not educated in that particular topic? Or do you have a mixture of people who are educated and people who are not educated on that topic? For instance, if you want to talk about menstrual pain and you're speaking to men and women, right? Women have knowledge about menstrual pain. They have good knowledge of that because they experience that. But there are things they don't know about. Maybe you want to talk about hygiene. But then the men, like their husbands, they just know that their wives have, they menstruate and then they have menstrual pain, but they don't really know what that feels like. So what can you do to help them know that? What do you need to say? Your choice of words, what content in particular do you need to include to make sure that both the men and women understand the need for hygiene? So you have to think about that. Then what are their experiences, their past experiences, their knowledge, their cultural background, where were they raised, who raised them? Those are some things you may want to find out about your audience. How exposed are they? Very important. And what are their values? What do they care about? What do they prioritize in their lives? Very, very important. Now, all of this is to say that your presentation has to be audience-centered. Your presentation has to be audience-centered. So I've shared with you 4 factors. I actually have about 8 of them, but I'm going to stop here and let you know. Like I said, this is part of a course. So if you want the full course, go to my website, buifenomeh.com/star-presenter, and you get access, and you can see more of the course and how to register for it. Now, I always get asked where people often ask me about fear. I have stage fright. That's why I don't like to speak. Like I told you before, never ever say no when you're asked to give a presentation. Go and work on your issues. Seriously, go and work on your issues. I have a client right now. She's a big career woman, but she told me she has been running away from giving presentations at work. And she literally just started searching for presentation skills training on Instagram. That's how she found me. So make sure that you learn. You can learn. If that woman can learn at her age now and at her level, you too, you can learn. So if you have the fear of public speaking, I didn't go into that because I already have a book on that. So you must have seen me talking about this book, How to Beat Stage Fright for Good. I mean, I did it. I have helped countless people do it. Who have read my book have done it. Students who have read my book have gone ahead and given a fantastic project defense presentation. I mean, this is not child's play, okay? So if you still have fear of public speaking, please, I beg, I beg, just get a copy of this book. Usually it goes, what I teach you, I actually coach you through this book. So I help you understand why you are afraid of public speaking. Then I will help you, show you how to get rid of those fears. And then I'll now teach you and I'll show you ways that you can speak with confidence. That enthusiasm that I talked about, how do you bring it out? That appearance that I talked about, how do you implement it? That knowledge of the subject that I talked about, how do you go about it? I shared all of these things in your complete guide to Big Stage Fright for Good. So go ahead and pick a copy. It's an ebook, there's no hard copies, and I usually sell for 3,000 naira a copy. That's what I sell my book for, okay? And I don't apologize for that because I know the value that people get when they read it. So I'm not selling the book, I'm selling the value that the book offers. So if you have fears and you want to get rid of those fears, get a copy. Like I said, I usually sell it for 3,000, but Leadership Rebirth is my family. This is the fourth time I'm speaking at this conference. So I want to do something special for all of you who would like to get a copy for yourself. So I slashed the price all the way to 1,000 naira for you. So I just want you to know I'm not selling this book to you at 1,000 naira. I'm not selling it because it's way worth more than that. But I just want you to get yourself a copy. Yes, it's an ebook, but like I told you, you have to be audience-centered. So I made the fonts large, and the way I formatted it is easy to read, both on your phone or on your tab, or even on your computer, however you want to read it. Very, very easy and straightforward. And you get exercises at the end of every chapter. So like I said, it's coaching. It's not just reading a book, it's coaching. You go from, you have a shift at the end of the day. So get yourself a copy. If you want a copy, you can pay it to my account. You can see it on the screen. It's a GTB account. Pay it in. When you're paying in, that is my WhatsApp number under there. So you can always let me know I paid for this copy of the book, okay, on WhatsApp, and I will get back to you. You can also speak with Solomon right there. So you can pay to him if you choose to, and then later on, you can send me your names and your email addresses so that I can forward you a copy of the book. All right, so I love this quote by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said, if you cannot communicate and talk to other people and get your ideas across, you are giving up your potential. You have the potential to lead. You have the potential to be influential. But if you cannot express yourself, you're not going anywhere. You're actually giving up that potential. So I want to encourage you to use the things that I've taught you today. Practice giving presentations. If you have fears, get a copy of Big Stage Fright for Good and learn how to deliver effective presentations. Okay, we're going to scratch this. If you have questions, note them down. I'm coming live soon to answer your questions. And if you want to connect with me on social media, follow me on Instagram at Buife Nomeh. And please, when you go to my YouTube channel to watch that video on how to engage your audience, please, 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 please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I want to get it to 100 subscribers. I'm at 63 right now. So please go ahead and subscribe. And my Facebook is also at Buife Nomeh. Twitter, I know today Twitter now because of your government. So let the Twitter wahala just stay. I'm active on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and then my YouTube channel. So if you want to connect with me on any of those platforms, go ahead. And that's my WhatsApp number. Please, if you are sending me a WhatsApp message, I respond to WhatsApp messages, but please be direct and be respectful. Okay, I will definitely respond to you. So just tell me who you are, how you got my WhatsApp number, and why you are chatting me up. All right, thank you so much. I'm coming in live to answer your questions, and see you soon.